Hi, in this tutorial I'll show you how to add Java code to your Nabu development platform. I've created a very simple maven project that has no dependencies, but does have a distribution endpoint that is pointing to my local Nabu server. There's two types of artifacts you can expose to Nabu. First being a simple bean. I'll create a person who has a first name and a last name. I'll also add a constructor for ease of use, but we do need to keep the default constructor as well for auto construct purposes. To tell Nabu that this bean should be exposed on the left side in the tree, we add this annotation. We also add a services class where we can add some service to be exposed. For example, a who am I, where we simply return a new instance, John Smith. And a second service do something with a person, and we do something. To expose this in Nabu as an actual service, we add the web service annotation, at which point we can enrich the result here, and we can also enrich the parameter here. Now all that's left is to tell Nabu about this library. It's called demo, the group, which is in line with the root package, and the artifact is called demo example. In Nabu we can create a maven library where we set the root package name that should be exposed, and we add the artifact name to the list of artifacts to be exposed. At this point Nabu knows about the library, and we can simply type maven clean deploy. In developer we hit refresh and we see the services appearing. We have the who am I, that when I run it returns a person object. Note that the speed of execution does increase rapidly once everything's loaded. And secondly, we have the service do something with, that takes a person, has no output because it's a void. We also have the person object here with a first name and a last name. We could update the services to, for example, return something, in this case a string, and we'll also take an additional string here as an input, a string, and we'll simply return the original string and something else. We can also use the person object here. We can add the validation API and state that the first name is not nullable, the last name is also not nullable, and it has a pattern where it should be only numbers for some vague reason. If you then redeploy, we go back to developer and we hit refresh again. We see that the do something with has been updated to have a string as additional input, and it has an output called response because we did not add a web result to this method. The person object is also updated. Both are now mandatory, and the second one has a pattern that resembles obviously the one that we defined in the person bean here. What we can do now is we can add a test service, and we'll simply add an output here, simply to test if everything is okay. We could, for example, take the who am I here, map the output of the person to the input here, have some string here, and then we map the output to the output of the flow service. If we run this, we see have something here and something else, which is appended obviously in the Java code. That's all for this demo. Thanks.